Morton's hydrogel technology is used by some of the top cyclists in the world, including a man who might podium the stage today. Go and check it out. Use LRCP15 to get 15% off your first order at the checkout down below. The final stage of the Tour Auvergne Rhône-Alpes, the name is already kind of growing on me. Could Del Toro win the race? Could Ayuso, with Trek supporting him, make a bid for maybe Tour de France podium ambitions? This was finishing on Solaison. Speaking of the Tour de France, this climb is going to be used on stage 15. Incredibly hard climb. It was used in the Dauphiné in 2022 when Roglic and Vingegaard went clear. We have two really hard climbs to start the stage. We don't see them in coverage, but they're both 30 minutes at 9%. Short, but incredibly difficult stage, although there is a long valley to recover before the Solaison. We have the whole Ineos team in the breakaway. De Plus, Rodriguez, Vauquelin. They're going for Rodriguez for the stage win. Paul Sexas unfortunately abandoned the stage. He tried to start. We did start, but then he was too banged up from the crash yesterday. And as you can see, it was little Trek chasing this breakaway. No bonus seconds in play, but confident in Ayuso, going for him. They get over the Aravi, 40 seconds behind this breakaway. Luke Tuckwell and Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, he's kind of camouflaged there in the Visma Lease bike team in the yellow jersey. Happy days for Bora. They don't have to spend any riders. They can keep Van Gils with Tuckwell. It's a pretty controlled, straightforward stage that they don't have to manage, and they're going for probably podium or better if they can get it. And on the climb, we see UAE's intentions. Thank you very much, Trek. UAE take over. Sivakov sprinting, hard start, sprinting past Simmons, and the breakaway was on 35-40 seconds. Then it slows down a bit. Vermarca gets up there. Del Toro's a little bit further in the back. Pablo Torres, who won on Finestra and Tour de l'Avenir a few years ago, he's there. So they got three climbers. Ayuso, is he suffering? Or is this hard start from UAE exposing? But Trek just rode for him all day. Vermarca starts to pace. Very, very hard start. Sivakov looks back to see the damage. Vermarca's done. Sivakov goes again. They're going to use Pablo Torres as the last man for Isaac Del Toro. Remember, he's got to take best part of like 50 seconds on Luke Tuckwell. And maybe you can't do that in the last 2Ks the way Luke Tuckwell's been riding. No luck for Valentin Paripantra, winner of Mont Ventoux in the breakaway last year in the Tour, but he's looking in good shape for another Tour de France, maybe breakaway mountain victory. And Tuckwell, I think they did it pretty smart here. He just starts doing his pace. Van Gils waits for him. They drop early. They drop before Ayuso, before Schjelmoser, and we see Torres launches Del Toro before. Well, Del Toro didn't even realize that he had a gap to Jorgensen. Looked back and it was like, oh, well, Torres has already created the gap for me. High cadence spinning style, gets across the break quickly. Tullet then starts to pace for Jorgensen, but this gap wasn't coming back. And yeah, as I said, Red Bull, they did it differently. Remember Tuckwell, how he blew up? Was it yesterday? He really lost a lot of time, a minute in the last 3Ks. He does it the opposite with Van Gils today. Ayuso, though, he comes good about a third of the way into this climb, gives the word to Schjelmoser. Schjelmoser says, are you sure? And then he starts to pull for Ayuso in the white jersey. I think he's wearing it on behalf of Del Toro, though. Del Toro drops Carlos Rodriguez with 8Ks to go. And yeah, we'll have some long extended shots of Del Toro here because this is by far his best climbing performance of his career, making a big statement before this year's Tour de France. He did a great climbing performance on Gibon Mobra, but he didn't catch Antonio Tiberi. He did just, enough there to win GC, especially as on her feet he attacked. But that was Antonio Tiberi. This is formerly the Dauphiné. This is the traditional warm-up for the Tour de France, and he's putting these guys, big leaders of other teams. Ayuso, big signing for Little Trek as their Tour de France leader. He's putting him on a minute. A minute. It is a 35-minute climb, and this is a domestique, quote-unquote, for Tadej Pogacar. Ayuso drops Jorgensen, and as I said, Tuckwell and Van Gils. Van Gils did a magic job today. They are bringing him back to Jorgensen, who starts to suffer on the steep gradients of the Solaison with, Del Toro. Ayuso went down to 36 seconds. Then he started to suffer again, and Del Toro does not slow down. He takes that gap out even further. But for Ayuso, after crashing out of Paris-Nice, he's probably going to be happy with this performance as well. He's riding himself at this point, into second on GC. But then Johannesson, he attacks Jorgensen. So Jorgensen's left all alone. Christian Rodriguez did a good performance. He finishes top 10 in GC, but Jorgensen's losing second to Ayuso. But then Ayuso loses second to Van Gils and Tuckwell, and then Jorgensen He loses 2 positions from 2nd to 4th because Del Toro leapfrogs him. So a lot of movement on this final stage. The last 3 mountain stages of this Tour Auvergne Rhône-Alpes have been very, very exciting. But what do you think from Del Toro in the Tour? Just a domestique? I think if Adam Yates can podium in 2023, why can't the Mexican superstar podium this July? We'll see. We'll see what UAE's tactics are. Was this a dress rehearsal on the Solaison for stage 15 coming up in about 3 weeks? Ayuso nearly gets caught by Johannesson, who obviously paced very well. He loses a minute, but moves himself onto the podium in GC. And I have to say, hat tip to Van Hills, Tuckwell, and Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. They get second on GC in the end in this race from Luke Tuckwell. But Del Toro wins the stage ahead of Ayuso, then Hal Johannesson, Schkelmoser, Christian Rodriguez, then Carlos Rodriguez, then Van Hills, Tuckwell, Ulgebrooks, Jorgensen. Here's what Del Toro had to say.
Isaac, not your first World Tour victory, but probably one of the most prestigious ones. What does it mean to win this Tour Auvergne Rhône-Alpes?
Super nice. Honestly, I'm super happy about today. I did the recon some months ago. I didn't know until 2 days ago this was the same climb that we do, but it was nice to remember the recon with Tade, and super cool to have the victory with the team. It's just insane. We fight for it, and it's just crazy nice.
Did the plan go exactly as planned? You wanted to attack early on the final climb?
We plan to have all in order. I know, after yesterday, maybe everybody will start to look at me. So, yeah, Pablo, Kevin, Pavel, and Benoit did an incredible job today, and Pablo launched me insane. So, I just keep going until the final. Probably if I knew was 8 or 9K, probably I don't go. But yeah, was with the flow, and I'm super happy to manage.
In terms of GC, Del Toro wins his 3rd World Tour level stage race this year after UAE Tour and Tirreno Adriatico, ahead of Luke Tuckwell by 54 seconds. Ayuso moves into 3rd on 1:17. Jorgensen drops off the podium on 1:36. Hal Johannesson stays put on 1:46. Hope you enjoy the videos. Pretty exciting warm-up. We've got Tadej Pogačar in Tour de Suisse next week. Let's see what he can do. He's the heavy favourite. Thanks for watching as always. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.